happened to Summer?
No.
Do you know who took Summer?
No.
Home when you first come home.
I'm not doing all that. I'm not going all the way back. I can't do this.
So listen,
Yeah,
they're trying to help. They're trying to help.
It's not helping me.
I know, but if they might.
There's nothing more to remember. I gotta go home.
The search that haunted the state of Tennessee for more than 4 agonizing years has taken a heartbreaking and dramatically final turn. Human remains have been discovered just a mile from the Wells family home, and investigators now tragically confirm what the community had feared from the beginning. The disappearance of 5-year-old Summer Wells is no longer a missing child case. It has been officially classified as a homicide investigation. This devastating development brings a painful kind of clarity to a mystery that has baffled the nation for years. Summer Wells was last seen on June 15, 2021, at her family's rural home in Hawkins County, Tennessee. Her mother, Candace Wells, provided the initial account, claiming Summer had gone down into their basement around 6:30 p.m. to play. She was allegedly gone within minutes. Her father, Don Wells, made the desperate call to 911, reporting his daughter had vanished without a trace from the remote property. From that moment, the case ignited a massive, unprecedented search effort. Hundreds of local volunteers, police officers, search dogs, helicopters, and advanced drones scoured the incredibly difficult terrain of rural Hawkins County. The landscape was unforgiving, covered in dense brush, steep slopes, and thick woods, making it seem impossible that a child could disappear so completely without leaving a single clue. Law enforcement quickly escalated the case to an Amber Alert, stating at the time that every possible scenario was being considered, including abduction and wandering off. However, as weeks turned into months and months into years, the extensive search yielded no solid lead. Despite more than 5,000 tips pouring in, investigators were left with unsettling theories, but no concrete proof. For more than 1,400 days, the profound question of what happened to Summer Wells lingered, keeping the case alive but frustratingly cold. The stalemate was abruptly broken earlier this year when a startling discovery near the original search zone changed everything. A local property owner, traversing a wooded area just over a mile from the Wells home, stumbled upon what were confirmed to be human remains. The location immediately became the most critical site in the case's history, so painfully close to where the initial massive search effort began, yet somehow overlooked during the extensive initial sweeps. The remains were swiftly secured by authorities, and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, TBI, wasted no time in confirming the tragic implication. Based on the evidence at the scene and the identification process, the case has now been officially and unequivocally reclassified as a homicide. This confirmation instantly shifted the legal and investigative focus. The discovery raises chilling, unavoidable questions. Were Summer's remains there the entire time, hidden so carefully that the thousands of searchers missed them? Or, even more disturbingly, were they placed there later, moved by the perpetrator after the initial heat of the investigation had died down? What investigators do know is that the site showed clear signs of deliberate concealment. This crucial fact rules out the tragic possibility of a child simply wandering off and succumbing to the elements. Someone went to great lengths to ensure these remains would not be easily found. That alone suggests high-level foul play. Forensic experts are now working tirelessly to confirm the identity through DNA and dental records and begin the process of determining the cause of death. The discovery marks a devastating turning point, replacing the lingering hope of finding Summer alive with a burning need for justice. The TBI held a press briefing, confirming that the full weight of the state's resources is now focused on solving this homicide. Agents emphasized that every past statement, every old interview, and every minor lead that had once been dismissed or shelved is now being pulled back under the microscope. This isn't just about identifying the remains. It's about uncovering who placed them there, why, and exactly how long they have been concealed. Investigators will begin aggressively re-examining phone records from 2021, rechecking surveillance footage from the immediate area, and systematically re-interviewing every witness whose account may have contained an overlooked inconsistency. In complex homicide cases, it is often the smallest deviation in a timeline or the slightest change in a story that reveals the entire chain of criminal events. Authorities stress that the question is no longer if foul play was involved, but now a resolute matter of proving exactly who is responsible for Summer's death. Forensics will play the single most critical role in attempting to piece together the final moments of Summer's life. Specialists are collecting and examining everything from soil samples around the remains for potential trace evidence, such as fibers, hair, or microscopic fragments, that may indicate if the body was moved from another location. Beyond confirming identity, medical examiners will attempt to establish the specific cause of death. Was there evidence of trauma, poisoning, or suffocation? The answers provided by these forensic tests will steer the entire course of the renewed investigation. The determination of time will be a crucial, agonizing factor in this investigation. If forensic results strongly suggest the remains were present at the site since the summer of 2021, it will raise painful and difficult questions about how such a massive, organized search operation failed to uncover them in the initial phases. However, if the results indicate the remains were placed there at a later date, it suggests an even more disturbing and calculated possibility: that someone deliberately waited for the overwhelming search effort to die down and public attention to wane before hiding the body in a location deceptively close to home. Either scenario points to a calculated, sinister action, not merely a tragic accident, as the concealment of remains is almost never a random act. It is the deliberate action of someone attempting to cover their tracks and escape accountability. For the community of Hawkins County, the discovery has reignited a pervasive grief that had been forced to settle into an uneasy silence. Vigils were quickly organized, with families gathering to light candles and pray not just for Summer's soul, but for justice. The heartbreaking realization that Summer likely never left Hawkins County, that she may have been hidden barely a mile away all along, has devastated the neighbors and friends who tirelessly searched every hollow and hill in those early days. The community is also demanding accountability, questioning how the remains could have gone unnoticed during one of the largest child searches in Tennessee history. For many, the confirmation has brought a measure of tragic closure, but it is a closure steeped in profound, shared heartbreak. With the case officially shifting to a homicide investigation, detectives are expected to relentlessly revisit every statement given in the early days. The highly scrutinized timeline provided by Candace Wells, which often shifted by minutes or conflicted with other accounts, and Don Wells's sometimes inconsistent interviews, will once again be examined with extreme scrutiny. Both parents have consistently denied any involvement, but critics and investigators noted contradictions in their accounts of June 15, 2021. Theories that were once treated as pure speculation, such as the possibility of an abduction being staged to cover up an accidental death or a crime that happened inside the home, may now gain new weight in light of the remains being found so close to the residence. Detectives will also revisit neighbor reports of strange vehicles in the area, as well as the strong possibility that someone highly familiar with the Wells property or the immediate terrain was involved. The fact of deliberate concealment firmly emphasizes a strong motive to hide the crime and a crucial local knowledge. The discovery has provided the investigation with a solid direction, but paradoxically, has not yet provided the necessary closure. The most pressing questions remain. Were the remains there from the start? Did someone close to the family know more than they revealed? And most urgently, who killed Summer Wells? Authorities are making a renewed, fervent plea to the public to come forward with any detail, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem. That one overlooked memory, that one piece of forgotten information, could finally be the key to unlocking the truth. The dramatic transformation of the Summer Wells case from a missing person report into a full-scale homicide investigation mandates a clear and singular objective: to build a concrete case for murder and ensure a conviction. This pivotal shift means the investigation's focus is on meticulous criminal work, utilizing every shred of evidence, from intentional concealment of the remains to any microscopic forensic evidence, to irrefutably link the perpetrator to the crime scene and the crime itself. The task is complex, demanding absolute precision to overcome the 4-year time gap. Crucially, the authorities are relying once more on the long-term memory of the public. Given the body was found barely a mile from the home, someone in the immediate community, a neighbor, a past acquaintance, or a friend of the family, must possess a piece of forgotten but critical information, a strange vehicle seen, an unusual alibi, or a lie that was told in the chaotic days immediately following the disappearance. That single overlooked detail is now considered the last, best hope for justice. The entire narrative of the Summer Wells story has painfully shifted. For years, the case symbolized the agony of uncertainty and a sliver of hope. Now it stands as a demand for absolute accountability. The proximity of the hidden remains to the Wells home strongly suggests that the answers may not lie far from where this tragic story began. Summer's case is no longer about a missing child. It is about a stolen life and a truth that was viciously concealed. The discovery has shattered the silence, and the relentless search for her killer is far from over.